Hello, dear DSC candidates. Welcome back to my Grammar for Success channel. I am Coresh Babu, a retired lecturer in English from Hyderabad. In today's video, I am going to explain the most important literary devices employed in the drama, The Importance of Being Earnest. I therefore request all of you to watch this video till the end without skipping it in the middle. I also request all of you to consider subscribing to my channel and also sharing this video with all your friends who are also going to take the DSC examination along with you very shortly. Thank you so much. Now let's get into the video. Key literary devices employed in The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. So let us have a glance at the literary devices employed in this drama. And first of all, let us look at the first key literary device, that is irony. Irony is nothing but a form of humor. In Telugu, we can say hasyamu. How can it generate hasyamu or humor? Means it's a form of humor in which words are used to express the opposite of what words actually mean. So the actual words mean something and the meaning of them will be something different, and in that way some humor is generated. Okay, and that is why this irony is directly called a form of humor. So let us take the meaning of this only throughout this. Its definition is also given here. In other words, we can also call this irony like this. What is that? A contrast. This irony is nothing but a contrast, a difference between expectations and reality. So whatever we expect is different from whatever is the reality. So whenever the expectation is different from the reality, then there will originate some kind of humor, isn't it? So therefore it is a contrast between the expectations and reality, and often used for humor. And this kind of irony is used to generate humor in the dramas. Okay, and here in this drama we are going to see three kinds of irony. What are they? Let us look at the first one, situational irony. Situational irony means what? Jock discovers his real name is Ernest, and you know very well at the end of the drama this Jock Warthing discovers that his real name is Ernest Warthing, you know very well, through that governess of Cecily Cardew, that is Miss Prism, you know very well, fulfilling Gwendolen's obsession with marrying a man named Ernest despite his earlier deceit. So earlier this Jock was called only Jock, but later on his name was said to be Ernest. And you know very well, with this name of Ernest, this Gwendolen, whom this Jock loves, is very much obsessed with, because she wants to marry only that person whose name is Ernest. Okay, and this is therefore called situational irony. Through this what happens, some kind of irony, some kind of humor is generated, you know very well. And here verbal irony is also there. Verbal irony means characters say the opposite of what they mean. So here characters say something opposite of what they mean. They mean something, they say something. So that is called verbal irony. Okay, as in Algernon's statement. Algernon makes a statement. What is that? The truth is rarely pure and never simple. So here, in fact, this truth is pure, but he says, no, this truth is rarely pure. He is not denying this word pure, but he is using a negative word here. Okay, and in that way he is making it a negative one. The truth is pure. Satyamu swachhamainadi. It is always there. But here this man says, truth is rarely pure. That means, Satyamu arduga swachhamainadi. So in saying that, he does mean that this truth is often surrounded by complications. Human relations, emotions, and societal expectations have made this truth just impracticable and just useless. And therefore, this truth is pure, no doubt about that, but it is rarely pure because it is surrounded by several complications. Okay, and here he also says the truth is never simple. The truth is never simple. The truth is actually simple, but he says never simple. Again, a negative word is used here. Here rarely a negative word, this never is a negative word. So the truth is simple, but here it is never simple. It is not at all simple, because it is mixed with some kind of biases, some kind of emotions, some kind of intentions, and partiality and all such things. And that is why it is, since it is mixed with all such negative things, this is not that simple. So in this way, the truth is rarely pure and never simple. So in saying this verbal irony is generated. Okay, verbal humor is created. You go to the third irony, dramatic irony. You know this very well. The audience knows Jock and Algernon are deceiving others with their dual identities. All of you know that this Jock and Algernon, both of them are deceiving the people with their dual identities. Dual identities means with their double identities, because this Jock is there. Jock is known as a Jock himself in the countryside, and what is that, Ernest in London. And in this way he is maintaining double entities, double identities. Okay, and Algernon is there. This is Algernon in the place where he lives, but whenever he goes to London, he calls himself Bunbury. So in this way, this Jock is living a double life, and this Algernon is also living a double life. So in this way, all these things the audience knows pretty well, whereas the characters around them remain unaware. That means the characters of the drama do not know that. So that itself is called dramatic irony. So in this way, in this drama, there are three kinds of irony: situational irony, verbal irony, and dramatic irony. Okay, situational irony is generated through a situation, and verbal irony is generated through you can say words and all that. See, this is a beautiful quotation: the truth is rarely pure and never simple. So through this quotation, through this beautiful aphorism, this irony is created. Irony means humor. Okay, so this verbal humor is created through this through the words, and dramatic irony means through the action of the characters in the drama. So in that way, three kinds of irony can be found in this drama. This is all about irony. And now let's move on to the next literary device. The second one is satire. Satire means, you know very well, mockery or jeering or some kind of sarcasm and all that. Satire, Vengyamum. Okay. And here definition is there: the use of humor, the use of exaggeration, the use of ridicule to critique society. So whenever the dramatists make use of this humor, exaggeration, and ridicule in order to critique society, in order to criticize society, then that is called satire. Now you look at the examples here. Two examples are given, I think. Wilde mocks Victorian marriage ideals. So in this drama, this Oscar Wilde mocks. Mocks means ridicules or jeers at, వెక్కిరిస్తున్నాడు, హేళన చేస్తున్నాడు. What? Victorian marriage ideals, Victorian marriage traditions. Okay, portraying engagements as superficial. And in those days, these engagements were held superficially. That means, the bride and bridegroom would be engaged to each other, though there was no deep love between them. Just on seeing the handsomeness of the bridegroom, okay, the beauty of the bride, the height of the bridegroom, the color of the bridegroom, the wealth behind that bridegroom. So seeing such trivial things and unimportant things, the engagements were held in the days of Victorian era. So here he is portraying that thing, because the engagements are super based on trivialities. They were just based on trivialities. See, you have to see the person, but not his handsomeness or his personality and all such things. Of course, they are important, but they are not primarily important. Secondarily important. That means they are not primary, but they are secondary. But in those days, they gave top priority only to the secondary things or trivial things. The wealth behind that bridegroom, The handsomeness of the bridegroom, the height of the bridegroom, the color of the bridegroom, the muscles of the bridegroom. These are all trivial things actually. Of course, they are important, but they are secondary to engagement. What is important to marriage is only the person himself. So, whether the person is good, honest, straightforward, and loving, then you should marry him. Then you should get engaged to that man. But here it is not so. In those days, they gave top priority only to the secondary things, not to the primary things. Therefore, he criticizes these engagements of the Victorian era, and based on trivialities like the name Ernest. See, not seeing the person, but seeing the name that woman likes that Ernest, that man. See, is it a meaningful thing? So this is meaningless. Ernest అనే పేరుంటే వాడు ఎవడైనా కానీ చేసుకుంటారా పెళ్లి? That's meaningless. So that's why it's a trivial thing. An example is given like that. There were so many trivial things. So giving importance to the trivial things, they gave their daughters in marriage to some young boys and all that. So that was criticized vehemently in this drama by this Oscar Wilde. That's why this Wilde is mocking this Victorian marriage ideals. So this is one satire, and one more example is given, I think, Lady Bracknell's obsession with wealth and status. And this Lady Bracknell is there, the mother of Gwendolen. She is very much obsessed with only wealth and status. She wants the son-in-law of that Lady Bracknell must have only lot of wealth and very good status. Even today also, people give top priority only to wealth and status, not to the actual person. మనిషికి విలువ లేదు, వాడు వెనుకున్నటువంటి సంపదకు, వానుకున్న స్టేటస్కు. అంతే, వాడు నల్లగున్నా పొట్టిగున్నా ఎట్లున్నా పర్వాలేదు. సో స్టేటస్ ఉందా, ఓకే. వెల్త్ ఉందా, ఓకే. సంథింగ్ లైక్ దట్. సో ఇన్ దోస్ డేస్ ఆల్సో ద పీపుల్ గేవ్ టాప్ ప్రయారిటీ ఓన్లీ టు ద wealth and status. So if you look at the character of this Lady Bracknell, she gave top priority only to wealth and status. Highlights this is a kind of absurdity of the societal values in those days. In the society of this Victorian era, that was a kind of absurdity. It's a kind of foolishness. It is a kind of brainlessness. మూర్ఖత్వం ఇది. వాడి వెనుకున్న సంపద, వానుకున్న స్టేటస్ను బట్టి తన అమ్మాయిని ఆ అబ్బాయికి ఇవ్వడానికి ముందుకు రావడం, దట్స్ మీనింగ్లెస్. ఈ రోజుల్లో కూడా పిల్లవాని వెనుక ఏమైనా ఆస్తిపాస్తులు ఉన్నాయా అని చూస్తున్నారు. అది ఉండాలి నిజమే, కానీ ఎట్ ద సేమ్ టైం దిస్ మనిషి హిమ్సెల్ఫ్ ఈజ్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. వీడు ముఖ్యం కదా. పిల్లవాడు మంచోడా, అమ్మాయిని మంచిగా చూసుకుంటాడా అనే మాట, దట్స్ మోర్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. So here Lady Bracknell disapproved the marriage of Jock Worthing with her daughter, that is Gwendolen, because she learned that Jock Worthing was only an orphan. He did not have a huge wealth and status. She rejected his proposal to marry her daughter. And this is the second satire. So in this way, you can find satire in the drama, The Importance of Being Earnest. Now you move on to the next literary device. Third one, epigrams and aphorisms. As a matter of fact, both of them are synonyms. Okay, synonyms. Because epigram means what? A terse and witty saying is called an epigram. A terse means very brief. Okay, terse and witty. Okay, terse and witty saying means proverb. Okay, right. Aphorism means what? A terse, what is that? Formulation. Okay, formulation of some truth. Okay, some truth. So the terse means brief formulation of some truth. For example, unity is strength. How meaningful it is. United we stand, divided we fall. That is an aphorism. A rolling stone gathers no mass. All that glitters is not gold. Look before you leap. Strike while iron is hot. See, these are all aphorisms. These are all epigrams. You can call them both epigrams or aphorisms. That means epigrams and aphorisms means sayings, directly speaking, sayings, sametalu, proverbs. Okay, you can also call them. And adages, okay. And what is it? Maxims, suktulu. Sukti, you know that very well in Telugu. So, Sukti, Sameta, Niti Vakyamu, all such things are one and the same. So here epigrams and aphorisms are one and the same, and therefore they are called synonyms. Okay, and now there are several epigrams and aphorisms in this beautiful drama. Let us have a look at them. Some definition is given here. Short, brief or terse, witty statements that express clever observations. Already I have given you some examples. Unity, strength, all that glitters is not gold. Okay, look before you leap. All there are so many proverbs. So they are called epigrams or aphorisms, whatever you can call them. Let me give you one or two examples to make you understand these examples. What is that? In matters of grave importance, style, not sincerity, is the vital thing. So this is a beautiful epigram or aphorism. So generally, in matters of grave importance, what is very much required? Okay, sincerity is very much required, isn't it? In matters of grave importance. Grave importance means a lot of importance. Here, these words are actually spoken by Gwendolyn Fairfax, and she prioritizes style over sincerity. Because in those days, in the days of Victoria era, the people have given top priority only to the style, but not to the sincerity. That means they have given top priority only to the outward appearance, outward charm, outward wit, outward politeness, and all such things. So in this way, in those days, the people have given very much importance to the outward appearance. This is very important. Outward appearance. Style means here outward appearance. They have not given any importance to the authentic emotions and authentic intentions and all that. So in this way, this Gwendolyn in this aphorism emphasizes the importance of outward appearances over reality, originality. And that is why the Victorians have treated the trivial things with so much of gravity. Gravity means importance. And they treated the serious matters. Serious matters. Serious matters means important matters very lightly. They have treated them very lightly. So that's why this Gwendolyn says these words, in matters of grave importance. Style, not sincerity, is the vital thing. That means, Gwendolyn, she suggests that style of something is more important than the originality of that thing. Okay, and in that way, she prioritizes style over sincerity. This is actually the meaning of this. And you go to the next important one. The truth is rarely pure and never simple. Just now, I have talked to you about this aphorism. The truth is pure, in fact, but here this Algernon says the truth is rarely pure because it is mixed up with so many biases or emotions and partiality and so on. So here, truth is rarely pure and never simple. It is not simple. Truth is not simple nowadays, because it is surrounded by so many complications. And I have already given you the meaning of this epigram. Okay, I need not give it to you again and again. And here, let's move on to the next literary device. Paradox. Paradox means already you have some idea about this paradox. Has possessing two contradictory qualities in the same person is called పారాడాక్స్. ఒకే వ్యక్తిలో రెండు విభిన్నమైన లక్షణాలు ఉంటే, వ్యతిరేకమైన లక్షణాలు ఉంటే, దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ పారాడాక్స్. You know that very well. Several times I have told you about this paradox. And here you pay attention, definition is there. A seemingly contradictory statement that reveals a deeper truth. So it's a seemingly contradictory statement. It's a statement, but it's a contradictory statement. So the statement is contradictory. Self-opposite, okay, and that reveals a deeper truth. So how? Let us take some examples to understand this. I can resist everything except temptation. It's a beautiful quotation. I can resist everything except temptation. So అన్నింటిని అంటేనే ఉన్నాడు, మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ టెంప్టేషన్ అంటున్నాడు. It's a contradictory statement. He says, I can resist everything. When you say everything, this temptation will also come into this. But again, he says, except temptation. So therefore, this is contradictory. It's a contradictory statement, right? So very beautiful. And the second example is given here. The amount of women in London who flirt with their own husbands is perfectly scandalous. So this is also a contradictory statement. So just look at this example. The amount of women means the number of women in London, okay, who flirt with their own husbands. So this is a contradictory statement. Flirting is a contradictory word used here, because generally girls flirt with boyfriends. Flirt with girlfriend means move erratically, అడగోలుగా అబ్బాయిలతో చటాపటాలు వేసుకొని తిరగడాన్ని ఫ్లిర్టింగ్ అంటారు. Generally what happens now, a young girl flirts with a young boy before marriage. పెళ్లి కాకముందు ఒక అమ్మాయి ఒక అబ్బాయితో చట్టా పట్టాలు వేసుకొని పార్కుల వెంబడి సినిమాలకు షికార్లకు వెళ్తూ ఉంటే దట్స్ కాల్డ్ ఫ్లిర్టింగ్ అంటారు. జనరల్లీ ఇట్ ఈస్ డన్ విత్ ద బాయ్ ఫ్రెండ్స్, బట్ హియర్ దేర్ ఓన్ హస్బెండ్స్. The women are flirting not with their boyfriends, but they are flirting with their own husband. Therefore it is a contradictory statement. Flirting as boyfriends తో ఉండాలి కదా, సొంత హస్బెండ్స్ తోనే కదా. సో ఇట్స్ a contradictory statement. So perfectly scandalous, of course. It is also a perfectly scandalous one, or a blamable thing, something like that. So here in this sentence also you can find some what's that, paradox. And now let's move on to the next literary device. Pun is there. Pun means the humorous use of a word which has two meanings. రెండర్థాలున్న ఒక మాటను హాస్యభరితంగా వాడడాన్ని, that is called a pun. You know very well. And here a definition is also given again for your convenience. A play on words. Okay, it's a play on words for humorous or rhetorical effect. Only for a humorous effect or rhetorical effect. For a pleasant effect, people generally make use of this pun, right? And here example is given. What is that example? The title itself is a pun on the word earnest. So here pun is played on this word earnest. So here you look at these two words, okay, EARNEST, okay, you pronounce it as earnest. So this is an adjective, it's a dictionary word. Earnest means being serious, being grave, being important, being solemn. So serious ga undadam, that is the meaning, earnest. So this E is silent here. You are pronouncing the word from earnest, okay. This is the phonetic earnest, earnest. Okay, this is the phonetic transcription, earnest, okay, earnest. So this E is silent. You cannot say earnest or something like that. So you say earnest, earnest. If you can pronounce it for 2 or 3 times, that word becomes your own and you can easily pronounce that word, earnest. You pronounce these letters only, not this one. So earnest. So here another word is there in this story, that is earnest, okay. See the spelling of that, earnest. So this is earnest. A is not be silent here, it is being pronounced. You say Ernest, Ernest Hemingway, Ernest Bolch, Ernest, so many names are there, Ernest. Yes, Ernest Warting, you know very well, Jock Warting, Ernest Warting. So Ernest, this is Ernest, this is earnest. This is a dictionary word, is an adjective. Earnest is a noun. ఇదొక పేరు, ఇదొక నౌను. ఇది earnest is an adjective, okay, it's either. So on this word earnest and earnest, this please just to see the difference between this. Once again, earnest, 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 okay. So here what is that, as the name earnest, highlighting the contrast between appearance and reality. So here earnest is what, a reality. Earnest is an appearance, a man, okay, it's like that, right? And now this is all about pun. You move on to the next literary device, farce. The sixth literary device is farce. What is this farce? Definition: a comedic style involving exaggerated situations and improbable events. Whenever some humor is generated or created using the exaggerated situations and improbable events, then that is called a farce, okay. Try to understand this. And here some examples are given for your understanding. The confusion surrounding Jock's origins and the absurd discovery of his true identity through a misplaced handbag. So here the confusion surrounding Jock's origins. So here Jock's origin is highly confusing, Okay, and because this jock was said to have been misplaced in a bag at a railway station. You know very well, he was misplaced. So that is also looking, the discovery of his true identity is very absurd. The discovery of this jock's true identity is very absurd, because he was said to have been placed in a bag by that Miss Prism, when that Prism was working in the house of this Jock's family. At that time, Jock was a little kid, and she put him in a bag, and she forgot. She put that bag at the railway station, and she forgot it. So that's really an absurd situation. Absurd means a foolish situation, a silly situation, and meaningless situation, in other words, we can say. So here, the origin of this jock is absurd, and what's the discovery of this jock's true identity, in a handbag, is also absurd. So this is an absurd situation. He was born actually in a wealthy family, but he was left at a railway station in a suitcase or in a bag by that servant of that house. Okay, and here, in this way, creating absurd situations is called a farce. So through this absurd situation, this dramatist tried to evoke some kind of laughter, some kind of humor in the audience. So that's why it's called farce. If it is a nice comedy, then it is called humor, but if it is a rough comedy, then it is called a farce. And you go to the next example, the exaggerated reactions to trivial matters, such as Gwendoline and Cecily's fixation on the name Ernest. So here, this is Gwendoline, and this is Cecily Duke or Duke. Okay, and both of them reveal their interest in the name of that Ernest. Whenever they come to know that both of them are interested in the name of this Ernest, both of them are obsessed with the name of that Ernest, they give a tremendous reaction. It's a trivial thing actually. She likes the name Ernest. She also likes the name Ernest. Both of them like the name Ernest. But towards this trivial action, they give out a big reaction. So through this also, the dramatist tried to evoke laughter or comedy or humor in the audience. So these are the two absurd situations. They contribute to this farce, right? Now you move on to the next literary device. Seventh one, symbolism. Symbolism means making use of the symbols in a meaningful way, right? And here you pay attention, the handbag. This handbag that has been forgotten at the railway station functions as a symbol in this drama, represents Jock's mysterious origin. And this handbag tells us about Jock's mysterious origin. Okay, and the absurdity of Victorian notions of respectability. So here it also reveals the absurdity of Victorian notions of respectability, because keeping a baby in a bag and leaving it carelessly at a railway station doesn't look nice, because a man should be given top priority. Moreover, it's a baby. So when a baby is there with you, you must be very cautious, very careful, because you cannot move roughly here and there, isn't it? So, but here that was created. So that means it's all absurdity, foolishness. So this kind of foolishness you can find with the people of the Victorian era, right? And here handbag serves as a symbol for Jock's mysterious origin, right? The name Ernest, this Ernest is also a symbolize the superficiality of societal values. So this tells us that the people of the Victorian era have given top priority only to the superficial values, external values, not to the authentic values and authentic emotions and intentions and all that. పై విషయాలకే ప్రాముఖ్యతనిచ్చారు కానీ అసలైన సీరియస్ మ్యాటర్స్ కి వాళ్ళు ఎక్కువ విలువ ఇచ్చినట్టుగా కనిపిస్తలేదు. ఆఫ్టర్ ఆల్ ఒక ఎర్నెస్ట్ అనే పేరు, దానికోసం ఓ పెద్ద గొడవ, రైట్? అండ్ ద నేమ్ ఎర్నెస్ట్ symbolizes the superficiality of societal values where appearance, a name, are valued over character. So the people of those days have not given any value to the character of that person, to the personality of that person, but they have given only some value only to the appearance. Appearance means name. Just now I have told you the color of that person, okay, the height of that person, the sturdiness of that person. They're all trivial things actually. What the girls must see is whether the boy is a good boy or not, whether he is honest or not, whether he is going to love her dearly or not. That thing the girl must see. But nowadays, no girl is looking for such details. They are just looking at the status of that boy, the wealth behind that boy. All such things are there. That's why, after 3-4 months or 5-6 months, they are going for divorces and all that. So because, they are giving top priority only to the superficial values, not to the serious values, not to the authentic values. So that is the reason why certain marriages are getting failed in the society, right? And here these two serve as symbols in this drama, and that in that way this seventh literary device is also over. And now let's move on to the next literary device, foreshadowing. Foreshadowing means this is nothing but giving hints, okay, about the story that is going to happen in the coming episodes or in the coming scenes and all that. So giving hints about the story well in advance, giving hints about the story well beforehand is called foreshadowing. రాబోవు కథ గురించి, రాబోవు సన్నివేశాల గురించి ముందుగానే రైటర్ ఒక హింట్ ఇస్తే, then that is called foreshadowing. You know that very well. And here foreshadowing is there, hinting at future events. That's the definition, directly speaking, hinting at future events of the story, right? And here example, Miss Prism's mysterious past has her nervousness around Lady Bracknell's foreshadow her connection to Jock's origins. So here this Miss Prism's mysterious past, and she has not revealed that past, mysterious past, to anybody, because once upon a time she worked in the house of that Jock as a servant, as a caretaker or something like that, and her nervousness around Lady Bracknell's, Miss Prism feels nervous about this Lady Bracknell because she refuses to give her daughter in marriage to Jock, saying that he was only an orphan, he has no status, he has no wealth behind him and all that. So that's why she feels very nervous about that, and that will foreshadow her connection to Jock's origins. And whenever she refuses to give her daughter in marriage to Jock, she feels nervous, and that will tell us indirectly that she has got some connection with Jock's origin, Jock's birth and all that. ఈ విషయము మనకు ఆమెకు మిస్ ప్రిజమ్ కు జాక్ తో ఏదో సంబంధం ఉంది అన్న విషయాన్ని ముందుగానే చెబుతుంది. ద ఆడియన్స్ ఆర్ హింటెడ్ ఎట్ దోస్ థింగ్స్ త్రూ దీస్ టూ థింగ్స్. ఓకే, మిస్ ప్రిజమ్స్ మిస్టీరియస్ పాస్ట్ అండ్ హర్ నర్వస్నెస్ అరౌండ్ లేడీ బ్రాక్నెల్ foreshadow her connection to Jock origins. Okay, and here ninth one is there. Ninth one, last but one, is here allusion. Allusion means giving reference to some person or some incident or some book or something. So that is called allusion. And you move on to the next one. Definition is given here: indirect reference to people, events and cultural practices. So that is called allusion. Giving references to people, events or cultural practices, that is called allusion. Okay, and here in this drama one allusion is given. What is that? Here the play alludes to Victorian social conventions. Throughout the play the reference of Victorian social conventions are referred or alluded to. These are alluded to throughout this drama, because in this drama this Oscar Wilde is critiquing or criticizing the people of Victorian era and the societal expectations of the Victorian era, the social customs of the Victorian era. So in this way, so in this play, these Victorian social conventions are alluded to, critiquing the emphasis on wealth, status and appearance, because in those days the people, okay, of this Victorian society had given top priority only to the wealth, status and appearances. Therefore, in this drama, this writer Oscar Wilde alludes to Victorian social conventions, right? And that is there. You go to the last literary device. 10th one, hyperbole is there. But hyperbole means overstatement or exaggeration, all of you know very well. Deliberate exaggeration for comic effect. So just for the sake of comedy or comic effect, certain situations are exaggerated, certain dialogues are exaggerated. Okay, so only for comic effect. Okay, one example is given here. What is that? Lady Bracknell's exaggerated disdain for Jock's lack of lineage. So Lady Bracknell refuses to give her daughter in marriage to this Jock because she says this Jock has no family lineage. Very good family. He doesn't have very good family. Okay, he doesn't have very good family background. His family background is very bad, very poor, very weak, and all that. Saying that, she what's that? Refuses Jack's proposal to her daughter to be born at any rate bred in a handbag seems to me to display a contempt for the ordinary decencies of human life. And here she says, to be born, having been born, putti, at any rate bred, having been brought up, okay, somehow in a handbag, and he was found in a handbag, and thereafter he was taken up by some foster parents, and in the hands of those foster parents he was brought up. So all such things happened with Jock, and seems to me to display contempt for the ordinary decencies of family life. And in this way, this Jock has lost all the decency of a very good family. That means his family background is very poor, very what is that, mean and absurd and all that. His family background is not respectable. He doesn't have a respectable family background. ఇలా ఎక్కడో పుట్టి ఎక్కడో పెరిగి ఒక బ్యాగ్లో దొరికిన తర్వాత అలా పుట్టి పెరిగి అలా ఓకే, అలాంటి ఫ్యామిలీ, మంచి ఫ్యామిలీ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ లేనటువంటి ఇతగాడికి నా కూతుర్ని ఇచ్చి పెళ్లి చేయడము నాకు సుతారం ఇష్టం లేదని అలా తీయడం. దట్ ఈస్ అన్ ఎగ్జాజరేటెడ్ డిస్డైన్. Disdain means refusal. That is exaggerated. So here in this way, in this drama you can find this exaggeration, and with this the literary devices will come to an end. Now we are going to solve a small exercise that consists of 30 MCQs, multiple choice questions. Come on, let us do that exercise and check whether we have understood this story thoroughly well or not. Okay, if you can do that exercise successfully, then you think you have thoroughly understood the story, these literary devices and all that. Otherwise, you please go through these videos once again, and afterwards you can do that exercise. Come on, now let us attempt that exercise. Come on. Now, let us solve the exercise given on this drama, The Importance of Being Earnest. MCQs from the importance of being earnest, especially from the examination point of view. So, all the questions that I am giving you in this exercise are framed or selected from your examination point of view. Therefore, you pay a very good attention to this. Solve this exercise without fail and check whether you have properly understood the drama or not. So, this exercise is nothing but a test for your comprehension of the drama. It's a kind of litmus test. So, if you can answer all these questions, that does mean that you have thoroughly understood all about this drama. Okay, now I'm going to give you the exercise. I read out only the question and its options. You are only to choose the right and relevant answer. Right. Okay. Who is the protagonist of the play? Protagonist. Protagonist will hero. Algernon Moncrief, Lady Bracknell, Jock Worthing, Cecily Cardew. Now look at the second question. What is Jock Worthing's real name revealed to be? Let us look at the options given. Ernest, Bunbury, John, Algernon. So these are the options given. You have to choose the right one. Now you move on to other questions. Third question. Why does Jock adopt the name Ernest? To impress Gwendolen, to escape his responsibilities in the countryside, to hide from Lady Bracknell, to manage his financial affairs secretly. Fourth question. What excuse does Algernon use to avoid social obligations? Business meetings, a fictitious friend named Bunbury, his health issues, his travel plans. Fifth question. Where was Jock found as a baby? At a railway station, in a handbag, in a basket on a doorstep, in a carriage, in an orphanage. Sixth question. Who is Gwendolyn Fairfax? Jock's ward, Algernon's cousin, Cecily's governess, Lady Bracknell's niece. You know the answer for all these questions. So now let's move on to other questions. Seventh question. Why does Gwendolyn want to marry a man named Ernest? She associates the name with sincerity and honesty. It is her father's name. She read it in a novel. She dislikes other names. Eighth question. What does Lady Bracknell value most in a potential son-in-law? Wealth and social status, love and honesty, good looks and charm, education and talent. Ninth question. What role does Miss Prism play in Jock's life? She is his governess. She accidentally abandoned him as a baby. She is his mother. She helps him escape responsibilities. 10th question. What does Cecily imagine about her engagement to Ernest? It has lasted for several months. It is a secret from everyone. It is arranged by Lady Bracknell. It is based on mutual understanding. 11th question. What is the significance of the handbag in the play? It contains a will. It reveals Jock's true identity. It is a symbol of wealth. It is a gift to Gwendolyn. 12th question. Who is Bunbury? A friend of Algernon, a fictional invalid created by Algernon. Fictional means, okay, unreal. Invalid means a weak person, a physically handicapped person is called invalid. Okay, a fictional invalid created by Algernon, Lady Bracknell's husband, a servant at Jock's estate. Okay, you move on to other questions. 13th question. How does Lady Bracknell respond to Jock's proposal to Gwendolyn? She supports it wholeheartedly. She rejects it due to Jock's unknown origins. She is indifferent. She insists on a long engagement. 14th question. What is the title of the play a pun on? Okay, he's talking about the pun, you know very well. Earnest. Okay, two things are there. And you know very well what is that? The virtue of honesty, the name Ernest, and the quality of earnestness. Already I have told you about this, I think. What is that? Ernest. This is the name. It's a noun. Ernest. William Ernest Jock Ernest, okay, Ernest Worthing, Ernest. So this is Ernest, okay, we just don't pronounce Ernest like that. So here also Ernest is there. What is that? Earnest. This is an adjective. Earnest means being very serious, being grave, be solemn, serious గా ఉండడం. Our principal is very earnest, very serious. All the while he is very serious. He is not joking, or he is not smiling, or he is not playful and all that. So here, this is earnest, this is earnest. So this is therefore called a pun. Pun means using the same word in a different way. Okay, earnest is a noun, earnest is an adjective. Of course, the spelling is also different. Ernest, Earnest. This is same spelling. Okay, earnest. But here in this, a is silent. Earnest, same pronunciation. But here the spelling is Earnest. It's an adjective. Ernest is a noun. It's a name. Okay, it's an adjective. Right. So here, what is the title of the play a pun on? So that you know very well, the name Ernest and the quality of earnestness, Victorian social customs, the value of marriage. Okay, all these things you know very well. Now you move on to other questions. 15th question. Who ultimately reveals Jock's true identity? Algernon, Lady Bracknell, Miss Prism, Cecily. 16th question. What kind of humor is most prominent in the play? Okay, this is an important question. What kind of humor is it? Okay, slapstick humor. Slapstick means in the circus what happens, the jokers, the clowns will be there, the buffoons will be there. what do? They will have some kind of stick with them. Okay, how can I draw this? So some kind of two things will be there, something like this. No, these are the two plates. With that, two things. When you beat with this, what happens? It will give some kind of big sound, top. So then it doesn't harm the person, but it will create some big sound, and then the other clown will be saying, so like that he will be saying. So this is called slapstick. Slapstick. This is called slap. Slap means beating. Stick. Stick, you know very well. Slap means beating. Beating stick. So that's why this you can find only in the circuses and all that. And here, in that way, the jokers or the clowns in the circus will create or will generate some humor in the audiences. సో దట్ ఈస్ దట్. ఇలా కొట్టగానే వాళ్ళు బాగా నవ్వుతారు. అట్లా అంటే దీన్ని అందుకే దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ స్లాప్ స్టిక్ కామెడీ. ఇలా కొట్టడం ద్వారా మనకు నవ్వు వస్తుంది. ఏదో మాట్లాడితే నవ్వు రావడం లేదు, డైలాగ్ కొడితే రావడం లేదు. సో అలా. సో దట్స్ ఇట్స్ దేర్ ఫార్ కాల్డ్ స్లాప్ స్టిక్ కామెడీ. సటైర్ అండ్ విట్, యు నో వెరీ వెల్. ఓకే, clever humor and all that. Tragedy, physical comedy. Physical comedy again is giving some pain to somebody and deriving some humor out of that. ఎవరినో బాధ పెట్టి ఇన్సల్ట్ చేసి కింద పడేసి అలా ఫిజికల్గా ఏదో వానికి అవతల వ్యక్తికి ఇబ్బంది కలిగించి అందులో నుంచి ఆనందాన్ని పొందడానికి, హ్యూమర్ను పొందడానికి, దట్స్ కాల్డ్ ఫిజికల్ కామెడీ. యు నో వెరీ వెల్. సో ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్ యు నో వెరీ వెల్. అండ్ వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ హ్యూమర్ ఈజ్ మోస్ట్ ప్రామినెంట్ in this play? Okay, you know that very well. Now you move on to other questions. 17th question. What literary device is used in the title of the play? So already I have told you about the title of the play, that is earnest. Earnest is a noun, earnest is an adjective, earnest is the name of a person, earnest is an adjective, it's a dictionary word. You know that very well. Okay, and simile, pun, hyperbole, metaphor. Okay, go to the 18th one. So this is an important question. Keep it in your mind. Which character values appearances over reality? So in those days, during the Victorian regime, what happened? The people had given more value to the appearances than to the reality. They gave importance only to the appearances. Okay, not to the reality, not to the originality and all that. That was the mind of the people of the Victorian era, right? And here, which character values appearances over reality? Cecily Cardew, Miss Prism, Gwendolyn Fairfax, Dr. Chasuble, right? 19th question. What does the phrase "to Bunbury" mean in the play? Bunbury. To be honest, to avoid social obligations, to travel secretly, to fall in love. So this you can guess and give the correct answer, because this is the character created by Algernon Moncrief only in order to avoid social obligations. So in the Bunbury stands for avoiding social obligations. You know very well. Now you move on to the 20th question. What is Miss Prism's romantic interest? Miss Prism is there. That's the governess of Cecily Cardew. Okay, Jock Worthing, Algernon Moncrief, Dr. Chasuble, and Ernest. 21st question. Who says, in matters of grave importance, style, not sincerity, is the vital thing? Who says these words? Okay, Algernon, Gwendolyn, Lady Bracknell, Jock. Who says these words? Okay, you know that very well. And now you move on to the next question. Why does Algernon visit Jock's estate? This Algernon visits Jock's estate. Why? Why does he visit that? To meet Cecily, to avoid Lady Bracknell, to reveal Jock's secret, to escape debts. Now you go to the other questions. 23rd question. What does Lady Bracknell say about ignorance? What does she say in this drama about this ignorance? Means ignorance is like a delicate flower. Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is a luxury we cannot afford. Ignorance is like a delicate exotic fruit. Okay, delicate exotic means unusual fruit. Fantastic, wonderful. Okay, fascinating fruit, something like that. Delicate exotic fruit. Delicate, unusual fruit or wonderful fruit. It has got so many meanings. Fascinating, captivating, enchanting, so many meanings are there. So some kind of fruit, unusual fruit. Okay, right. These are the options. Now you move on to the next question. 24th one. What does Cecily keep in her diary? Accounts of her daily activities, letters to herself, fantasies about her engagement to Ernest, and poetry. So now you know the answers and you can choose the right one. Now you move on to the other questions. 25th question. What is Algernon's relationship to Lady Bracknell? Nephew, son, cousin, brother-in-law? You know this very well. Why does Jock want to be rechristened? Rechristened means renamed. Why does he want to be rechristened? To officially change his name to Ernest, to atone for his sins, to satisfy Lady Bracknell, to confuse Algernon. 27th one. What literary device is most used in Algernon's dialogue? Irony, metaphor, paradox, allusion. This is also an important question from your examination point of view. What literary device is most used in Algernon's dialogue? Okay, options are given. You choose the right one. And here, 28th question. How does the play end? Okay. How does the play end? You know that very well. With the marriage of Jock and Gwendolen, with the discovery of Jock's real identity, with Algernon's death, with Lady Bracknell leaving angrily. You know that very well. Right. Now let us go to the last set of questions. 29th question. What theme does the play primarily explore? Very important. What theme? What is the theme of this drama? It's a primary theme. Love and war, appearance versus reality, death and legacy, friendship and royalty. Last question of this exercise is like this. What is that? Who coined the term bunburying? Bunbury is a fictional character. He is created by Algernon only in order to avoid social obligations that you know very well. And now, what do you mean by this bunburying? Bunburying means here, funnily it is given Jock, Algernon, Gwendolen, Lady Bracknell. Who kind of means who created this fictional character called Bunbury means which is only Algernon, you know very well. So with this small exercise will come to an end. Now let us look at the answers of all these questions. Okay, these are all the answers for the questions from 1 to 10. These are all the answers for the question from 11 to 20. These are all the answers from 21 to 30th. So with this exercise will come to an end. This video will come to an end. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hello, dear DSC candidates. Thank you so much for watching this beautiful video. And if you have any problem in understanding any of the questions or literary devices or important quotes and anything that I have dealt with in this video, please make a mention of it in the comment section. With this, the textual syllabus is almost over, and from next video onwards, I would like to take up your methodology videos. Okay, and with a beautiful methodology video, I shall be back to you. Until then, bye. See you all of you.